know when it's live.
We're live.
We are live. I'm just going to test, just make a double check on the platforms to see that we are streaming.
All
Arush, do you
right.
want to lead it in?
Yeah. So, anyone watching while we sort of figure things out on the tech end, thank you for joining us. Today is a very interesting, very special topic that we want to discuss. I personally want to discuss because I'm on this journey of really perfecting my skills in business, in sports, in everything, and I do think focus is a big part of it. What? Can you not hear me? What's happening?
I can hear you, Arush, but it's a bit like the quality isn't great. It's like as if there's noise
Arush,
in the background. I don't know.
Arush, have you got?
Oh, he's gone.
I wonder if he was playing our video on another thing.
Interesting. Hey,
I'm hearing a lot of
I'm
echo.
here.
No one's playing us on anything else, are they? I've muted everything. Is it me? It was
So.
me.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm like, Arush, what are you doing? Who's playing us? Oh, I'm playing us. I'm so sorry.
Gotta blame somebody.
All right, I've closed it all. I thought I'd muted all of the
Okay.
things.
Am I back?
You're back. You're fine. It was never you. I'm sorry. I learned
Okay.
my lesson. We won't do that again. So, Arush, do you want to start again?
Yeah. So as I was saying, I'm very excited for this one. Because I believe that I can get a lot out of it, and I can give as well. And since I'm focused on business, sports, some high performance play things that I'm doing in my life, it's very valuable to me, and I hope that having this discussion, a variety of different perspectives, will give me at least, and everyone else, I hope, a deeper understanding of how to do things better and how to be more performant in life, using, being more efficient, using less energy, getting more out of it. So that's what I'm in for. What about you, Pinky? If you've sorted
Yeah,
everything else out.
absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm really struggled to focus, particularly in business. I have a lot of different ideas, a lot of different projects, shiny objects. I want to do everything. Generally, as well, my mind tends to be very overactive. I get a lot of thoughts about everything. I'm always thinking a lot. A lot of emotions internally as well can really be quite consuming for me and distracting. So, trying to really pull myself away from all of that internal noise is one of my biggest challenges. And also external distractions. We live in a world where there's just so much noise and distraction and all sorts. So, I generally struggle with it in a number of different areas. So absolutely, like you say, Arush, I'm very much looking forward to learning from both David and Via from your respective areas of expertise in this area. And yeah, I'm looking forward to speaking to people today as well, because we've got quite a few people on live. So what I will just say before we introduce our beautiful guest today is just make sure that you are letting us know if you're there. If you want to put a comment in the chat to let us know that you're watching, who's there, so we can say hello. And we'd be very, very happy to take questions during the live stream and get the conversation going. So whoever's watching us, you are in this with us. We're having a chat, but we want you to join in to the conversation. So please do comment and let us know if you are there. So,
You guys still hear an echo?
Yeah, I think because Arush and I were just muted just to enhance the experience for everybody watching. It's either Via or Pinky. You guys would probably, I think it's Via actually. You can use headphones because it's echoing.
Sure. Okay. I'm just coming in on my computer. So give me 1 sec and then I can
That
meet
should be
from
better,
there.
I
Is that
think.
okay?
Just- yeah, I think it's mostly when you use the phone that the voice gets trapped.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 sec. I'll be with you. I'm coming out again. Coming to
And we do have Pamela is with us. Welcome, Pamela. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for watching and joining us live. And so we hope that you have some questions and comments and thoughts to share with us. We also have Samantha here as well. Lovely to see you, darling. Amazing to you all. Amazing to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, sorry, Arush. That was me clicking the button. Are we good? Should we just give Via a quick sound check and then we'll introduce our guests and then I think we're good to go.
Can you hear me?
Oh, so much better. Is that good for everyone?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome. So I'll introduce Via and then Rush, you'll introduce David. For all of you viewers who have not met our beautiful guest today. So Via is a spiritual teacher, author, liberator, free spirit, healer, mum, lover, and soul sister. And she is the founder of the Wellness Barn in Marlow in the UK and beyourspirit.com. So Via teaches yoga and she hosts classes and amazing retreats in the UK and in Greece, and also has created something which sounds so awesome, which is the Soul Sister community. And Via is also providing meditation teacher training, Reiki teacher training, and soul aligned business mentorship. And although this isn't part of her official bio, she has given me a lot of love, a lot of laughs, and a lot of wisdom over the years as we've shared our spiritual business and life journeys together. So thank you, Via, for joining us all the way from Pakistan, and it has not been long since she landed there. So thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me.
You're so welcome. Arush?
Yeah.
So, my turn, or Via, do you want to say something?
No, you carry on.
Yeah. That was a very elaborate introduction. So mine won't be as elaborate, but what I do want to say is that this is David. That's it. So David
A lot more to
is
David than that.
yeah. So David has achieved something in life that a lot of people just don't even dare dream of sometimes. He's been a former Olympic swimmer, an achievement that a very few people in the world get to say out loud. I haven't really been in touch with David as much. We have come across each other, but we never had proper conversations. But from what I've seen from him, he's a very focused, very determined person in life. He's a father to a newborn now, and is spending most of his time focused on family. And that there is this new adventure of yours, David, which I don't know much about, Papapreneurs, as you say.
Oh,
So,
cute.
wow, beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
So, David, feel free to tell us about Papapreneurs as well, and just say hi.
Cool. Yeah, glad to be here. Papapreneurs is, man, it's very young because my newborn is very young. She's 3 months, and it completely changed my life. Like I never could have imagined, even though everybody said, it's gonna be the best thing. I was like, yeah. But then, yeah, that happened, and I fell so much in love with the whole idea of being a dad and having a great work-life balance. And I think that requires focus. And the Papapreneurs is all about dads with young children who have an entrepreneurial mindset and also building that community, because we can learn from the many lessons and mistakes that we're making and have made along the way. So that's Papapreneurs.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for being here, both of you.
Yes. Should we start with our first question? We want to just know a little bit more. Like, I know we've obviously spoken about what you're doing now, and we've touched a little bit on what David's done in the past as well. But just a little bit more, if you want to elaborate on your journeys, what's brought you to where you are, what you've done in the past, why you took the journey that you took, and what's your why as well, And so, Vi, do you want to kick us off a little, tell people a little bit more about your journey?
Sure, I try and keep. I could talk a lot. So where to start? So I'm going to take you back to I finished university. I studied economics and then I applied for a job anywhere in the world, and I wanted to be an international successful businesswoman. And I ended up in a job in Amsterdam. And within about a year and a half, I got all my dreams. I got the international successful businesswoman. I got employee of the year. I got paid more money then than I've ever been paid again, actually. And bought a canal apartment with my best friend, had an amazing social life. I was 25 years old and I had accomplished all the dreams that I had and that I thought I wanted. And I was miserable.
No.
And I oh shite. Sorry, my lad. Oh no, like this is everything I wanted. Why am I miserable? And I was miserable inside, right? So for me, my mind had said, this is what you want, this is what you want, this is what you want. And I think we can work on a goal for a week and achieve it, or maybe a year and achieve it, or maybe 10 years and achieve it. But I think we just have, in my experience now, I want to find my goals for my heart, because by following my heart brings me fulfillment rather than my mind, which is what I did then, which was obviously part of my journey and normal and natural before I found meditation. So I decided, right, I'll quit my job. So I was in Amsterdam. I was getting all this money. I bought my canal apartment, employee of the year. And I thought, you know what, I'll quit my job and I'll go traveling for 3 months in Southeast Asia. That's what everyone else was doing. And I'll know what I want to do when I come back. So off I went. I told everyone. I thought everyone was going to be really excited for me to go traveling and then come back. And they were like, and instead the response was like, oh my God, you can't go. We've gone into a recession. You've just bought a house. What about your mortgage? And I was like, oh, this is not what I was thinking. I thought you were going to say, yeah, you go, girl, go find your dreams, go find your happiness. No, it was everyone's fears for me or for them. It was fears rather than anything else. But anyway, off I went. Told you I could talk. Off I went to oh, it's cutting in and out. Am I still there?
No, you're there. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Off I went to Thailand. And so, well, it's a bit of a longer story, but I've got to try and cut it shorter. But I had a smear test before I left. So I had the doctors were trying to get hold of me for 6 weeks because they found precancerous cells.
Oh.
So I was in Copenhagen, having fun. Get the call from my mum. You have to come home. The doctors have been trying to get hold of you. And I cried and I cried and I cried, not because I had precancerous cells, but because I didn't want to come home. Having the time of my life. So I was like, right, okay, if I've got 2 weeks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up to Pai, which is this little village in North Thailand. I saw all these spiritual courses going on that I really wanted to go to. So I was like, fine, I'll go straight up there and then I can go home in 2 weeks. And so I flew up there, got the minibus over the mountains. It's a little town in the valleys. And then this minibus dropped me outside this center called Divine Healing. And this woman came out and I was like, this wonderful woman. She's like, you lost? I was like, no. She's like, you got somewhere to stay? I was like, no. I was like, I don't really care. What do you do here? She's like, I teach Reiki. I said, what's that? And she told me, and I was like, wow, not only is there someone else that thinks or believes in something more like I do, there's an actual course in it. So I was like, can I learn? She's like, do you want treatment? I was like, no, can I just learn? She's like, fine. Anyway, so that was, I ended up spending the next 3 winters in this little town called Pai in Thailand. And it's where I found Reiki and meditation and yoga and acupuncture and EFT and all these spiritual holistic books and so many books that had been written by people who had healed themselves from cancer. So it just took me on a whole other journey that I didn't even know existed. And then, yeah, so that was it really. I spent 3 winters there and I kept flying back because I'd run out of money, work in Amsterdam, go back to Thailand for the winter and carry on learning. And then I brought back to UK about the age of 28, 29. And then I just wanted to share everything I had learned there. And, I went into like the 21-day silent Vipassana, which is Buddhist meditation retreats in the temples in Thailand. And as cheesy as it says, they were an absolute life changer of my inner world, really. And my inner world then affects my outer world. So, yeah, I just wanted to share as much knowledge and understanding and practices that I have been given to anyone that wants it in this lifetime.
And how long
That's
have
my
you
journey.
been doing your business and teaching and all of this?
Now, I've been teaching back in England I'm 41 now, about 13 years.
Nice.
So I started off with just teaching, Reiki in the attic room, in the therapy, converting the attic room. I teach Reiki and meditation, and then became a yoga teacher. And yeah, and then I launched a meditation teacher training. So I teach other people to become meditation teachers, worked in all the studios around. And then about 2 years ago, I opened up the Wellness Barn, which is I call it healing center, yoga, meditation, breathwork, Reiki center in Marlow. And so we've been teaching about 13 years, lots of different, a variety of tools to help people.
I'm very, very interested to see how those sorts of things help with focus, because I dip in and out of that sort of stuff, bit of meditation, bit of yoga, bit of focus, bit of breath work. Like usually when I'm feeling really bad, I'm like, oh, let me breathe.
Yeah.
But I'd love to know really about how, we'll talk today about, how that depth of work in your own spirit and your own consciousness can help hone that focus on what truly matters to you, what you want in your life in all areas, and really help you to focus on that and create it. So look forward to exploring more of that with you during the session. David, do you want to share a little bit about you and your swimming in particular? So I'm very interested to hear more about that.
Yeah, sure. So, swimming is would you say like it's an individual sport kind of, right? People think, yeah. And that's very much how I experienced it here in Switzerland. And then I went to the States for 4 years. I went to the University of Virginia. I had a scholarship there. Great school, great like team, great set like coaches. And what I realized is that, we swim in the lane, but it's, all the work that you do, the 20, 30 hours every week that you put in is all in the team. And I had so much fun when I was over there because we had like 70 people on the team, all with the same goal. Everybody's motivated. And it was just fantastic. And, we trained really hard, but the Olympics, it's really hard to qualify for the Olympics. And because the competition, man, around the world, it's swimming you got to train a lot more. So it was always, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it. And then in my last year, just before the Olympics, from 2011 to 2012, I got the opportunity to work with the sports psychologist of Michael Phelps. You guys know Michael Phelps?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dr. Jim Bauman. And man, I just, no matter how tired I was with my body, like even when I was sick, every week I would go and talk to him for an hour. And because the problem that I had was like I was training really well. And then when the big competition came, like the NCAAs or qualifiers, like the really important competitions, and the pressure was on and the lights were on, the reporters were there, I would often bomb it. Wow. And that is so disappointing if you work a whole year, right? And then, like imagine a 90-kilo dude crying, right? It's kind of weird, but that happened because it meant so much to me. And so I started talking with Dr. Jim Bauman, and all of a sudden, all these knots that I had, they like started to go away, like magically go away. And I started to perform better than I ever had, better than I expected in the most important moment, right? And so I did make it to the Olympics. And then there I swim a Swiss national record. And it was really great. Michael Phelps won the event in the end of the day. But the point was that I really had an aha moment. Was like, there's so much that I don't know about how all of that works. And that was fascinating to me because I always thought I'm smart. And that's when I realized I'm pretty, like, I know nothing. And I think that was a huge, like, turn in my life because, you know how it is. If we think we know, but we don't, it's a bad assumption, right? And then I went into the corporate world because I thought I had to make money and all that kind of. And at some point, I just asked myself the question: does anybody care if I'm not there tomorrow? And from every angle that I looked, I was like, nobody gives a fuck. And I wanted to, work with people. I want to have an impact and hope that if I'm not there to work, that somebody would go after a while. I was like, hey, where's David? And so that's when I decided to 2019 to leave the corporate world and start, using what I already knew and the experiences that I had and pass it on to other people.
Love it. Love what you're saying about sports psychology as well. And I don't know a lot about it, but I'm always delving into it because I think it's a really, really good, it's sports psychology, but it's life psychology, it's business psychology. Like, it can be applicable to so many different things. So yeah, absolutely would love to learn more about that from you as well. Really good. Hey, Arush, do you want to go to the next question? And any comments now that you know a little bit more about our awesome guests? Is there anything in particular that you want to ask? Any challenges that you're having that you'd love help with? Now is the opportunity. This is a rare opportunity. You've got David and Via right here in front of you. So please do put into the comments any questions that you have, and we will gladly put them to our guests.
Yeah. While people might be typing, man, I do want to say, David, so I've been into sports all my life. I started off with tennis. I played a bit of cricket. I did skating. I tried everything. I even tried swimming. And eventually what stuck with me was football and golf. And man, it's like I think like maybe everyone suffers from that. It's like I play well in practice, but when it comes to it, when there's people watching, it's like I've never learned how to play. It's just like I'm like, hey, here for the first time. Nothing's going well. Um, using the work that we've learned here, I've tried to apply that, and it's worked really well for me. But there's still sort of glass ceilings that I hit a lot of the times. And we'll get into that later. But I definitely want to say it's like, yeah, I've been there so many times. It's just it's good to see that someone got out of it. So thanks for sharing that, and I'm so curious to see how that would, how this perspective would look.
Are we losing Arush, or is it just me?
Yeah, it's not just you.
No. Arush, maybe turn off video for a second. Okay, we'll give him a minute for his Wi-Fi to get a little bit stronger. But I love what you're saying about when you're up against it and then you've got to perform. And I think that goes in all walks of life. Like I do speaking and teaching, and yeah, the nerves are a whole nother level when you get in front of a room of people. Via, I don't know if you get nerves before you're about to teach or running a retreat, and people have invested and come over to Greece to be on a retreat with you for a few days, or if you get any of those nerves and worry that you're not going to perform as well. Because that's the thing about focus, right? Is you're thinking, I want to focus on doing a really good job here and succeeding, but something else takes over. And it'd be interesting to explore what that is when we get nervous, what takes over. Arush, are you there? Via, go for it. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't get too nervous. Sometimes, like the first time, I was so excited to do a yoga Reiki meditation, my first workshop. There was like, the studio is full with like 25 students. I hadn't really ever taught, I'm not sure, a group before. It was always one-on-ones. And I was so nervous. But then I just remembered it was about them and what they were coming for rather than me. So that really helped. So if that ever, that's different. I don't know if it's different if you're helping people. So if you think about actually what have they come for, then yeah, all my nerves went and thought, you know what, I'm just going to do my best to help them.
I love that. And that's one of the phrases we have is the work is the hero. And that's exactly it. Because again, when we're talking about focus, often what you think you're focused on is not what you're actually focused on. And you might be focused on yourself and your insecurities and your fears and so on. But that is something I try and remember, is it's not about me. If I'm in service to people, then it's really about the work is the hero, and it's all about them. And that really lessens all of that sort of performance anxiety and so on as well. Don't know what's going on with Arush there, but
he'll be back. And can I chip in and ask Via? Like for me, like my experience is that when somebody gets nervous, or let me talk about my experience. Okay, if I get nervous, I can rationally remind myself that I'm here for other people, or I can tell myself there's no reason to be nervous, but it doesn't do shit for me. Like I'm still nervous. So like how do you, like, does all of your clients, do they go like, yeah, okay, I'm here for others, and that takes it away? Because then I gotta know how that works, because for me, like, that does not work, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, we can go quite, yeah, sure. So, I mean, it's like, where should I start? Because we can go quite deep on this. But so I guess the first thing is, I guess that's why I love the tools. I'm going to call them tools, but I love meditation, breath work, yoga, Reiki, whatever the tools are, because what it does is bring your awareness back into your body. Rather, so if you're all nervous and your mind's racing 100 miles an hour, and then you go into the fight and flight, like you've got no chance of being able to, never mind focus, but to deliver. Well, you know this, at the performance you want to deliver at, right? But if you are able to get back to, you could call it your zone or groundedness or feeling calmer, then you've got a chance of being able to offer yourself at the best of your ability. So for me, that one is doing these practices of breath work or yoga or meditation or Reiki. But you don't need to do the practice then and there. Just by practicing a little bit every single day, it actually helps you outside of your practice. So when it comes to a point that you need to perform and you're like, oh my God, I can't do this, I'm far too nervous, you can just start breathing and bring yourself back to that calm zone, which you were in, 3 hours before when you were meditating. So you're able to access that zone easier if you implement a tool. So that was the first thing I was going to say. And the second thing I was going to say is getting to the root of what is causing the nerves. So that's a lot deeper work I'll do with some of my clients or students, where they have held stage fright, for example, for years, since childhood. So but we get to the root of that, of what is, where this stage fright has come from, and it always comes down to something from their childhood. So we go back to the childhood and we start to heal that memory and that experience, where they've been made a fool of, at the age of 8, or made to feel ashamed, or weren't allowed to speak, weren't allowed to be heard, weren't allowed to be the person they are. So a lot of that comes all the way back to childhood and inner child healing. But again, we learned that through the practices as well. I'll stop talking now because I could talk about it.
Thank you, darling. We did just have that comment from Pamela. Great honesty, David. Absolutely, and that's what we're here for, to be raw and real about. We're all human as well, right? We all experience our challenges as well. David, did you want to respond or share anything more on what Vi said?
Wait, do we have challenges? Really? We do?
I am a challenge. My entire life is a challenge.
Yeah. I mean, Arush and Pinky, you guys know our good friend William Wycliffe, right? So I have really adopted his hardcore approach to never go back and like, oh, what does that mean? And I mean, no judgment whatsoever, right? I'm not a healer, so I don't know how to do all of that, but I never go back and try to change meaning. So what we do, for example, like with athletes or people who speak, or even I have teenagers who have to pass an exam. Like it's all the same kind of reaction, right? And what we do, we use emotional state control, kind of like when you go in the end result, but you connect with something that has happened in the past where you were totally confident, right? And everybody has those moments from childhood, last month, like something that really means a lot to you. Go in that state, you connect with it, you breathe in some colors, and you just have like that cocoon, that suit of armor, like a nice coat around you. And, you start to breathe in those colors and distribute in your whole body, and then you go, right? And then I agree, you do that a couple times, you practice, your nervous system remembers your posture, your breathing, the color, and then you can just go in it really, really quickly and basically just recall everything that is there in that moment. And so that's what we do, or what I do with my clients, how I learn from sports psychologists and, other people. But yeah. I think there's many ways that lead us to be the best version of ourselves in the moment. So it's super cool to hear.
That sounds great.
What's your thing?
Well, first of all, I'm amazed that this is what's coming out of sports psychologists, because my sort
Mm,
of thinking was that we look at what's happening, we dive into it, we break it down, we deconstruct it, and then we put you on the path of going. I did not expect any kind of embodiment or imagination there, per se,
mm.
Arush,
which
you know
I
what?
am very excited about. Yeah,
Arush, you know what the guy told me? Like, listen to just this, okay?
yeah.
He's like, okay, imagine you're a tiger, right? And you're going for a prey, and you miss the prey. Have you ever seen a tiger cry? Right? He's like, fuck no. He rests and he goes again. And I was like, whoa, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I needed to
Oh.
hear that right now. I really did. Because this is one of the things I think when we're talking about focus, for me, definitely I can lose my focus on my goal and what I'm trying to create the minute I fail at it. So I actually had something in my business just over the last few days where I thought I was going to have an opportunity and I was really excited about it. And then it didn't turn into something. And I took that as a failure. And of course, all my wounds are there, right? Making stories and meanings about this situation. But that can really take me off the focus of what I actually want. And I don't stay focused on the end goal. I'm not the tiger that gets back up and let's go again. I'm like, I'm going to have a cry over here and then I'll never eat again because I don't want to go again because it's so painful. But that is such a good analogy. Like that's really helpful for me to hear today
Mhm.
is that's it. The tiger doesn't go and have a cry, gets up and goes. Is it that simple? Is it that simple when it comes to focus on what we want? I love
Mhm.
that.
I mean,
I,
it's interesting. So, I kind of want to share what I've been sort of doing or teaching myself, which I think is very similar. So, with golf, for example, there's days where I just play shit, but everything turns out to be good. And there's days where I'm playing really well and I freaking hit trees and it goes where it's not supposed to go. It gets in the water because I've hit it so straight and so far, which I've never done before. So even with the good things, it doesn't work out. And what I've started doing now is every single time it goes well, I try to feel something or try to find something that connects me to that sense of, oh, this is how it went well, in the sense of, so maybe it's a feeling in my hand or it's a feeling in my mind, something that I can tangibly connect to. And also when it doesn't work out, it's like, I try to find something that helps me remind myself, okay, this is not it, like I need to change something, I need to switch out of that mind. It's much easier for me to do that when I'm playing golf because it's a slow sport. You get a lot of time between one action and the next. Where I'm struggling with right now is applying that in the moment. With football, for example, it's like instinctively in the moment you got to switch, take one action, you go get it wrong, you take another, and then you take another. It's like every second something. So that's where I'm at. So in the in a long timeline, I can do it. In the short one, I'm still sort of, getting figuring it out, I guess.
I think I don't know about you. I think I was losing you a little bit there-ish, but I heard most of it. Hopefully everyone heard most of it. Um, I've got a question as well. We've got a lot of viewers, so we can see the numbers that you're all there, but I'd love to see you in the comments to say hello, ask your questions, and what awesome guests. We have two absolutely amazing experts here. So can we do a couple comments? Is that all right if we just share a few comments? And then I have something I would like to pick your brains about, David and Via. This was relating to the visualization you were talking about, David, of the colors. Are there any particular colors that you imagine in that process?
Does not matter what I imagine. It's like you have this, you connect with your situation, you build a vivid perception, like a full sensory perception of it, and then you'll notice that there's a feeling originating somewhere in your body. Make that a bit stronger, and then you'll notice that there's a color attached to that. And first pick, the subconscious knows it could be a series of colors, a mix of colors. That color, don't go into your head. It's the first color that comes, and that's it. That's the symbol. That's the color, and it's whatever it is for you. There's no.
Nice, very good. Pamela's yes to using our breath and mind to refocus and go for it. Yeah, absolutely. There's so much power in the body as well, right? And the breath. So definitely something to consider if that resonates. Roar, that was the tigers that we were talking about. Be the tiger and go for it. And another one from Pamela here is connecting tangibly to the emotion of the moment of our success. Yes, I really love that too. I think I'm very good at connecting to the emotions of my failures and for when things go wrong, and all my fears and my wounds. All those emotions are right there. But actually, I love what you've suggested here, and actually connect to the emotion of success. I don't think I do that enough at all. So yeah, glad that you're resonating with that, Pamela, as well. One thing I wanted to ask both David and Vi, obviously both of you have had long-standing businesses and careers, and you've stuck with certain things for a solid amount of time, which that's something I think requires a lot of focus. A lot of people have ideas and they want to build a business and they want to do that, and creative projects, whatever, or health goals, sports goals, performance goals. And how do you, what do you think were the key things that kept you focused on your journeys? Like, David, if you didn't swim so well, why didn't you just check out? So I'll go and do something else, So what was it that kept you going? And Vi, you've been building your business now for so many years. What is it that keeps you focused on your goal and keeps you aiming towards that for such a long time and getting results?
Maya, you want to go first? Because
Sure.
that is, I actually think that in terms of the swimming, yeah, but then the business, I mean, I can't say that it's been, I'll be lying, it was.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
so I guess for me, it's about following my heart and doing what makes me happy every single moment of the day. There's no end result. There's no goal. I'm not trying to get anywhere. I'm just enjoying the journey. And I'm enjoying the journey I'm doing because I'm just doing what my heart wants every single day. Just enjoy what I'm doing. And that's what was a massive change from before finding meditation to after finding meditation. Before there was goals, there was dreams. This is what I want to do. I want to do that. I want to have that. And it doesn't mean I don't have the goals and the dreams either. There is still things, the dreams after meditation. After I learned that, I was like, I want to be a meditation teacher and a Reiki teacher and a yoga teacher, and I want to write a book. So I still had the dreams and I still went for them. But if my heart changes one day that I really don't want to be doing this anymore, and there's something else I will do, well, I'm going to do that. I'll drop everything I've done and I'll do that, because if my heart's not happy, if I'm not, why would I continue something?
Yeah.
Why would, right? So that's, yeah. So I lead from the heart, go from the heart.
I love that. And, you make it sound simple, and it is simple as a premise, but living it,
It's not simple, I got there after 21 days silent Buddhist Vipassana retreat, followed by 5 more. 10-day silent Vipassana Buddhism retreat, followed by all the Reiki courses, all the yoga. So it might sound simple now, but I think I did a lot of time to understand our mind as well, because our mind shouts, right? Our heart whispers, and we've never been taught to listen to our heart, right? We've always been taught logic or intelligence. It's all with the mind. It's never with, why don't we just turn off the mind? We don't even know how to turn off the mind. How on earth do we turn off the mind? We've never been taught anything different. We've never been taught that we're not our mind. We go around before meditation thinking we just are our mind. We don't even realize there's something more to us. So it's not easy to quiet the mind and listen to your heart. But that's what my book is about. So it's a guided workbook of Journey to Your Soul Purpose. And it's all about just implementing a few different tools and changes, just little ones in your life every day, where you can calm down the mind so you can start to hear the heart. Because if your mind doesn't stop shouting, you're never going to hear your heart, which is also your gut feelings, right? It's your intuition as well.
Yeah. Love it. Beautiful. David, what about you? What keeps you focused?
Yeah. I mean, the way what works really well for me is like, okay, what do I want is ultimately I want freedom. Yeah, I'm free to choose now, but I want freedom of time, which at the extreme would mean I can do whatever I want any minute of the day. Financial freedom, which means, again, at the extreme, I could buy any asset, any investment I want to make in myself and my family. I could make it in cash. And then the third thing is freedom of people to literally hang out with whoever I want, whenever I want, and do whatever I want. And so what keeps me focused, I think, is, and I feel blessed because I had that sports education, is that, you know, I don't, it's not dependent on if I feel good or not, right? In the morning, you know how many times like we woke up and like at 5:30 and the whole body was aching and the last thing that you wanted to do is jump in a cold pool, but you just get up and you do it. Because, and I think with focus, that's what happens. People get excited about a new project and it's really easy for them to, you know, do the work because they're motivated. But then in business, you know, like what happens is that the results, they come slower than what they expect. And then motivation fades and they stop, right? They, whatever they're doing, they stop way too early and then, oh, it didn't work. And they move on to the next thing. And I think that's kind of the thing that I have is like, it's just a thing when I know this is my heart, this is where I want to go. I love that. But then I don't, you know, it's not dependent on how I feel on any given day. I'll just get up and fucking do it. And that is a habit, you know, like that's, it's like a character that formed because of swimming, right? And then because I had a lot of help with coaches and all that, right, I was able to take that and use it in other areas of my life, because it's not a given if you're good at something in one area that you can transfer it, in my experience at least. But with a lot of help, you know, that I kind of managed to take it and now use it in my business and at home and anywhere. If that makes sense.
I'd love to say also I'm with you with that one. I would say you know, what's your why, right? What is your motivation? And that will bring your focus to, like you say, my motivation was also freedom. When I had my son Zane, that's when it really shifted for me in my work, because I wanted to be able to drop him off at school and pick him up and be there for him at whatever age. I wanted to decide when I would work and when I wouldn't work, and what kind of life I want to create. And I will create the life I want to have, right? I dictate that. I make my choices, make my freedom. And that, yes, there's definitely a motivation behind the business, because if you go into business, there's a lot of work, right? It is. And that's, say, you've got your motivation and you've got to choose wisely of what business you want.
And it's interesting, like, sorry, Rich, go for it.
Yes, sorry. So I kind of want to share something here because it feels very familiar, this whole thing. So I personally, so by profession, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, and I've pretty much quit doing this, especially in the early 3-4 years of me practicing this. I've quit at least 6 times that I can count. You know, I've quit it and I've come back again a few months later, sometimes 6 months later, and so on. And what I've realized now, and since the time I've become consistent, I used to believe that the whole thing about the why are you doing this, was a cliche. Like I was very sort of, you know, I didn't understand it. I was sort of against it. I wanted to prove that it didn't need to be there, the why. And what I realized was that the why is always there. So the reason I was doing this work, or the stuff that I teach, was because I wanted to make money. I wanted to become famous. I wanted to be known. I wanted to be reputable. I wanted to be, you know, be seen as some kind of an authority. And every single time I pushed myself to get those things, mostly out of desperation, because I didn't think I had those things or I couldn't be that person. I was using what I was teaching as a way to really, you know, feel like I mean something in the world. And as soon as I realized that and I switched that to, okay, why do I want to do these things? Oh, because I really enjoy exploring the human mind. I really enjoy talking to people. I enjoy discovering who people are, what they're capable of, and what ticks them, what you know, makes them move in life. And as soon as I got down to that, um I started making more money without really pushing for it. I got very good clients to work with, and I really got to live out my dreams, although, on a smaller scale, but expanding in the direction of the big dreams. So, yeah, I want to share that.
Love it. Thank you, darling. That's great learnings there. Can we do a couple of comments? We've got some nice comments coming through. And
Yeah, they're good. I already see it. That's so
Yeah.
accurate. That's so good.
yeah, really good. So Samantha, interesting to watch different perspectives of the masculine from David and the feminine from Vaya. And that's why we brought you together. We wanted the different holistic perspectives, because that is the power of this conversation. So I'm really, really glad that you're enjoying that. Look who's here.
Hey, Lucy.
Hello, Lucy. Getting my nails done and can't type. But awesome convo and awesome guests. Always so lovely to see you, darling. Thank you so much for being here. Pamela agrees with Samantha about the different perspectives, both so valuable. Exactly. That's really, really important to see the different perspectives and different ways that we have. And Lucy, I think that's a blank one by accident because she's getting her nails done. So she probably did that by accident. Awesome. Really, really good. So just did a little time check. So we're already almost at the end at 5 o'clock. Arush, what did you feel is the most pressing? Is there a pressing question for you? David, do you feel there's anything, or Vaya? I mean, I have one thing that's coming out for me really at the minute, but I want to open that up and just see what do you feel is at the top of obviousness to make sure we cover.
I mean, for me, it's getting into some physical stuff in the sense of practices, that lead to some long-term sort of discipline, I guess, in terms of moving forward, growth. That's again a very masculine perspective, I guess. But something along those lines, like how do we ensure, or what practices can we take on to at least ensure that we're growing and not moving backwards?
Yep. So practices, practical things that people can do. Links to mine, actually. Mine was really going to be around, help me, please, because I have an issue and I'm going to share my issue. And maybe people will relate to it, is that I do just have a million ideas in my head all the time. And I go for the shiny object, the new project, the new collaboration. I do a lot of different things. I like to do videos. I like to write. I like to draw little stickmen and cartoons and things. So maybe I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do that. And I end up never really seeing anything through. I fall at the first hurdle. As soon as it gets difficult, I check out. And then everything becomes scattered, overwhelming. And then the overall progress of my business is just slow and painful. So that's my thing is, for people like that, hopefully I'm not the only one in the world. Please tell me there are other people like me out there. But, what do you, I guess your top 3 tips from both of your perspectives, if someone comes to you and that's what they're dealing with, they're just scattered all over the place. I want to do this, I want to do that, juggling. What would your top 3 tips be? So if we say top 3 tips, practices and focus, which actually kind of relates really to what Arush was saying, is tangible practices that people can take. And then, David, Vaya, anything that you two would want to cover, and then we'll go through all of them before we end.
I'm not sure I'm going to give you top 3 tips because I want to say I have seen you grow in your business and it's been beautiful and you're totally growing your business. So you may feel like that, but it's not true. And if you like to write and you like to draw and you like to read and you like to and you like to speak, you do them all if that's what you love, right? I love variety. So that's why I teach Reiki and yoga and meditation and Soul Sisters and online and face-to-face, because that's what I like. I like variety. So, and that's okay. And, they when I first did a marketing course, they told me, just pick one. Just pick one. You have to pick one. I can't pick one. It doesn't make me happy to pick one. So I'm not going to pick one. Right? So
and you're doing all of them. And you're doing them well. And you're running them all. And
well, you think that I've had so many things that don't succeed. so many. So like I had a barn, which I have the wellness barn now, and I had the barn in Dorney about 6 years ago. And I was so excited. I just finished my yoga teach training. So finally I could teach groups, yoga, Reiki, meditation, put on all these classes every day, every night, weekends. Nobody turned up apart from my best friend and my mum. Okay. They carried on supporting me. Nobody turned up. I had to let it go. I was like, why am I letting this go? This is all I wanted. This was the dream. I had to let it go. No one would turn up. So I let it go. And then I had to, and then I applied to work in all the other yoga studios around, and I got the job and I could teach there. So that's what I did. And then 6 years later, the barn comes back. And this time I open the doors and I can't get rid of the people. I've got so much work, I don't know how to handle it. So it's also divine right timing in my belief, right?
Yeah.
But you said you do all these creative things, you do this, and then something doesn't just succeed and you check out. You said you check out. Well, maybe you want to look at why you're checking out. What happened to make you want to stop? And that was the same with the same I'd like to say with you, Arush, if it's okay, when you say I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Oh, right. No, it's not what you were saying. It just made me think of something. Are we stopping because we feel like we're not good enough? Right? Is that, oh no, I've tried, but I didn't get anywhere, so I'm not good enough, so I can't do it. Are these the thoughts that, the thoughts coming up about being not good enough, or any self-limiting beliefs arising because I've tried and that's it. It didn't get where I wanted to get, so I can't be good enough. It's not going to happen. I'll change and do something different. Now, it takes a lot more. We have to fail and get up and go again, and fail and get up and go again, and fail and get up and go again, until, as long as we're doing the right thing, not the right thing for us, as long as we're repeating, keep trying on what it is you really want. Because if it's not what you really want, it's not really aligned for you, then you're probably not going to succeed too well anyway. And sorry, no top threes, just the last thing, so someone else could speak. But someone just said about the masculine and the feminine energy. So in yoga philosophy and acupuncture, Chinese philosophy, we've got we all have a masculine and feminine energy within us. And the feminine energy is the restorative energy. It's the receiving energy. It's the listening to the heart and the intuition. It's the walking. It's the evening. It's under the moonlight. And the masculine energy is the sun energy. It's the action energy. It's the doing energy. It's the achieving energy. And we want both of them, right? Because if we have too much yang, we burn out, because we never stop. We burn out. And if we have too much yin, we procrastinate. So also, if you're a procrastinator or if you're near the burnout, there are different yogic breathing exercises to balance your feminine and masculine energy, your yin and your yang. It's yin and yang. Yin is feminine and yang is masculine. So that's my top 3 things. Try some meditation, breath work, or yoga.
So much. Awesome. Thank you, darling. David, let's get your perspective.
Yeah, that's very cool to hear. So in terms of okay, this is almost like self-therapy. I'll just share with you the 2 simple things that work for me and continue to work, and my clients really, really like it. I wasn't going to use this, but I will draw something like...
Please, I've been waiting the whole time. I'm like, draw something on the whiteboard.
If this is a ladder, okay, this is like the easiest, the ladder to success, to freedom, whatever, ladder, progress, right? Growth. Okay. You have your beliefs. If you believe it's possible or what you think is not possible, you have your beliefs here. You have your skills here in the middle, and you have your character or your behavior over there. And what's important, what I noticed is that the level of success, again, I don't mean like striving, but being happy, right? And creating what we'd love to create depends on the weakest of those. So if I don't believe that I can be an Olympic champion, it's never going to happen. If I can't swim, it's not going to happen. But the character and the behavior is, if I don't have the focus and the discipline to go to training, like even if I have the skills and the belief, it's also not going to happen, right? So it depends on the weakest. We need all 3 of those. And what I find is that most people struggle with their behavior because they believe it's possible. They get coached. They see other people do it, right? They believe it's possible. They actually have the skills. They're not at the mastery level because they haven't done it all, but they have enough skills to be much further than they are. But it's the behavior. And so how do you change the behavior for most people? And I think what really serves me here to change bad habits and to install good habits is to just think, okay, what would the person that has already achieved what I want to achieve, what would that person do? And then do that. Like, you know, going out drinking, right? If I'm just in my identity, I'll go out and drink because that's me. I'm a party man and all that, right? But if I'm like, I'm a businessman, I'm like, you know, I'm sharp, right? This is me. Like 10 years from now, it's like, okay, what would I do? Well, I wouldn't go out drinking. I would do something else, or I'd drink water. Go out and drink water, something like that. And so that really helps me talking to my older self and giving myself advice, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the trick is then to follow through on that, obviously, but at least you know exactly what to do.
Yes. I love that. What would the person who's already achieved it, what would they do? That's a really good way to get focused on an action and a way of moving forward. I love that. Really good. Hey, we're getting lots of comments as well. I want to do some more. These are so good. Should we just run through them, Arush, quickly? The last few comments. So Pamela wanted to ask about practices, which I think you've already answered that one, actually. Pinky, not alone. Thank you. So Pamela saying here, I love that what is true for us always finds a way to us, despite our timeline that may be ego-driven. I needed to hear that one too, I'll be honest, you know, and I think that's
Me
what
too.
did you as well? Good.
Yeah.
See, we're all in
Every
it
day.
together, right? We're all in it together. And I love that because I actually had a meltdown last night. I wanted to give up on all of this work, all this business, all these dreams, all these visions. And I was crying and I was like, what's the point? It's never going to come for me. So thank you, everybody, for reminding me of the truth. That's really, really helpful to hear. What type of yoga? Samantha, I assume is for Vaya. What type of yoga? Just generally, what type of yoga does Vaya do? Is that what you're asking? I think, are you on mute? Yeah.
Sorry, there was loud music going on here in Pakistan. It's like election day, so I was like, that one. Pingo, just wanted to say, I'm sorry, I have to say to you again, but you have had loads come to you. You're like, when is it ever going to happen? It's happening. It's happening. Right? I think maybe sometimes we don't appreciate how far we've come and where we are in the moment, because we're always thinking of the next or wanting more. And once we've got a little bit, we want even more, and that's natural. That's growth, right? But just take it to appreciate how far we have come, how far and living in that zone.
Yeah.
And the yoga. Sorry.
No, I just want to touch on it because you reminded me of something I actually learned from David on a masterclass the first time, which was the gap in the gain. That's a really important when it comes to focus, which is exactly what Vaya is saying. And it is exactly that. Looking at your journey, always measure backwards. They say, well, look how far you've come, look how much you've grown, look what you have achieved. Whereas what I get stuck in is looking ahead to what I haven't achieved yet. And yeah, I remember I first learned that from David on a masterclass, and that really, really stuck with me as well. So it's a fantastic message around what you're focusing on and how to stay focused on the right things. So just wanted to share that via yoga. Do you know which? I don't know what that question
was. I feel like it gets a really bad rep because it's been used as a solely physical activity, which I don't mind because people come into yoga and then they go deeper. But if you can find a teacher that really embodies all of the yoga philosophy, which includes the emotional, the mental, the journey, the breath. So just go to a few different types of yoga, and then you'll and hopefully then you need to resonate with the teacher. Find a teacher and you go to a class and you get something more out of it than just physical. Then that's your type of yoga.
Love it. I love that. If you get more out of it than just physical, that's your type. Love it. Also enjoying the ladder from David there. Thank you very much for showing us that. And one last comment will go, Pinky, thank you for sharing your vulnerability. Very relatable.
Yeah.
You're welcome. It's not always easy, and that's the thing. Most of the time you go online, everyone's like, look how great I am. Look how great everything is going. And it's like, well, let's be real here. That's what this is about. That's what this show is about. That's what these forums and these conversations and our guests, we invite people because we want to have real conversations about what we're going through and our journeys. So I'm conscious of time. So if David and Vaya have to go, we can close. Arush, I don't know what you're thinking, or I would love to do just one key takeaway from each person from today's session, and then we can close on that. What do you reckon, Arush, David, Vaya? Are we good to stay for another 3, 4, 5 minutes?
Stay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nice.
Arush, is there anything else you want to cover before we do takeaways?
No, I think let's do the takeaways and then sort of close it out with David and Vaya just saying what they do, if there's anything on offer that they have, and
Yes.
and then we can we
and
can
where
close it.
people can find you. Yep, absolutely.
Mhm.
All right. Can I start with the takeaway because I might forget it in a minute?
Yes, please.
I'm actually getting a really lovely balance from both of you that has both of what I needed, both those messages. One was really going for my heart each day and just doing what I love because I love it. That's been coming through for me because I did lose connection with my heart and my truth and why I do what I do. So there's that real feminine side. And then there's the tiger analogy is with me. Like that's going to stick with me big time around. That's exactly it. When I fail, if the tiger doesn't get the food, they don't just sit down and die, right? They all cry about it. They get up and they go hunting again. So that is definitely powerful for me. So I take both of those, the following my heart and being a tiger. Oh, I love it. Thank you very much for those.
Yeah,
Arush?
that's really cool. Yeah, I've got a lot out of this. So one big thing that I've realized just now is that on the latter thing is like I have no character whatsoever when it comes to comes to my sport because I'm not practicing because I feel like I'm special and I've got the skill, I've got the belief that I'm good at it. That just sort of makes me lazy somehow. So I'm just realizing, oh shit, okay, you know what? I need a lot more dedication to break through wherever I'm stuck at. So that's cleared things up very easily. And also, there's this sense of that there's no right way, and actually refocusing and being in the moment and sort of standing on stage, dealing with the nerves. It doesn't have to be a very serious process of sort of holding everything down and pushing through it and fighting through it. It can be very enjoyable, the example of the colors and sort of feeling and expanding the sense of confidence that you have within you. So yeah, really getting the sense of it doesn't have to be that dreadful of a process to stand there and get something done. So that those are my key takeaways.
Very nice. Thank you. Vaya, takeaways, and then David.
What I got from this. Yeah, I really love to hear David speak because it's things I haven't heard before and practices in a different way. And at the beginning of this conversation, when we were talking about, it was right at the start of the conversation, we were talking about basically having a meltdown when we're about to perform. And I've got an 8-year-old and he's quite good at maths, but it comes to the 4 times table that he has to do in 3 minutes. So as soon as he set that timer at school, it has to be done in 3 minutes. That's it. Meltdown. We don't do any, we can't get the questions done. We don't get any right. And he's a bit of a mathematician, and you think, and I saw this, I was like, why have you not passed your 4 times table? For him, it's easy. So I did the 3-minute timer with him at home and watched him melt down. And I was like, we're going to have to, I need to find some tools to help you with this. He's not interested in coming and sitting in the meditation room with me at the age of 8. So I'm going to tell him about the ladder. I think he's really going to like that. So thank you, David. I'm going to give that one. And we do a lot of the gold light in bed, but never to envision that in the moment as well when you need the help. Rather we do it at night in bed, but I'm going to bring that in as well. So thank you. It's really helpful.
Cool.
David?
Yeah, thanks for the conversation. I think there's a lot of takeaways, but the one is that masculine and feminine, how they go, how we want them both. Because I cannot stand, the people that say, "Oh, just wait," and it's everything is coming and all that, right? Everything is happening, and then on the other side, I cannot stand the people that say you got to grind so hard, fuck sleep. You can sleep when you die because they're gonna get burned out, and these people are doing nothing. As we said, procrastination or burnout, right? Maya said it, and I think that it's like that mix and developing both and nurturing both. I think that's really where it's at, and everybody, well, everybody's different, so whatever suits Arush, Pinky, Vaya, me, everybody else, right? So
yeah, beautiful. Really, really lovely. Thank you so much. One last question before we also then just get David from Via, where people can find you. Just not a question, just a comment from Pamela. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed all of your wisdom. So did I. Absolutely. I think I'd like to watch this again because when we're in it, I'm listening to you, but I'm also checking this and this. I'd like to actually go back and just listen again, so I can just listen to Via and David and just actually absorb, because you gave so much wisdom in such a short space of time, which is amazing. So Via, where can people find you? Anything you want to share, that you want to offer to people, that you want them to let them know about?
Sure. Well, at the moment I do a lot of face-to-face at my studio, which is in Marlow, but I'm just in the process of doing online courses specifically for mindfulness and meditation that someone can do in their own time at home. It's like a 6-week course that they can just go through stage of how to implement a little bit of meditation into their life every single day. So it's coming. If anyone wants that as a tool, it's in the process.
And is that
so so it will come out on, I've got 2 websites, because I had beyourspirit.co.uk for many years, and then I opened the Wellness Barn 2 years ago. So we've got the wellnessbarn.org, which is a non-profit social enterprise.
Wonderful. Thank you, Via. David?
Cool. I'm on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and I think, if you search for David Karasek, because we're connected to Pinky and Arush, it's probably going to pop up. So that's a good way. And then the other thing, what I do have in about 2 weeks or so, we do a focus course, which is based on The One Thing. Do you guys know The One Thing by Gary Keller?
I started listening to it on your recommendation. Yeah, it's very good.
Right. So we're going to do that. And, I say it's free and it is free, but at the same time, I want people who come to make a donation to charity, because they will get better results. Right. And that's are you saying goodbye or charity? Yay.
I don't think it's her hand.
It was the little one was waving, was it?
Oh, yeah. So I just have like people donate a little bit, like 50 or 100 bucks to charity that they have skin in the game, because they will get better results, but it's basically free. So if anybody wants to do that, it's 2 weeks, but we only meet 4 times. So it's about 4 hours in total. Yep. And we've kind of got it dialed in because we've done many rounds of this. So if anybody wants to join, just hit me up.
So they just contact you directly, or is there a website or anything?
Yeah, we don't do it. We don't do it public yet. Because we're just doing the reps in the background, to really make it great and not just good, to really just do it again and again and again, make it better. I'm trying to do a Mind Valley kind of level course, but that takes reps.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. Awesome.
Sounds amazing.
Couple more thank yous, and then Arush, do you want to close us out? So thank you from Samantha. Thank you for joining us. Everybody who commented and joined in and brought your energy, you make these chats amazing and what they are. So thank you so much. Lucy as well. Fantastic convo, and I'll listen again as I missed the ladder. You got to see the ladder. So do watch again, Lucy. It'll be awesome. Thank you, everybody. Arush, anything else?
No, just thank you both for showing up, for being so flexible with us, and for giving your energy today. It's really helpful. It's really meaningful. I got a lot out of it, and that's all I can really ask for. And hopefully people watching, people who will watch, they also get a lot out of it, because it is some valuable content that we share today.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. I might hit you up on that one thing, David. Sounds like exactly like what I would like to do. And Vaya, thank you so much for your wisdom, because I know myself, I generally tend to avoid the feminine aspect of this, and just again being reminded that that there's more to building and creating than just action is comforting in a way. It's almost like, it's not all on me, and there is certain shared responsibilities that come outside of my physical being. So that's very nice as well. So again, thank you very much, and yeah,
Thank
great to
you.
have you guys on.
Yep. Bye,
Thank
Thanks,
everybody.
you.
guys. Great
Thank
hosts.
you.
Bye, bye.
Thank you.
Great hosts.